Now, on the issue of healthcare cost, quality, and access, this is a small topic to bite on. Did everyone get their protein and load up? You got a lot to work through in the next couple hours. Look, on healthcare, we're going to need to work as a team as well. You know that, I know that. Many of you in this room are working to develop the next medicines, the next technologies, the next innovations that are going to change the world. 1 in 6, Glenn, that's awesome, right out of Massachusetts. I know that. I know what you're engaged in, and it's so fundamentally important. We need policies to provide the right incentives so that this work can continue into the future. At the same time, we need to be sure that high-quality health care, and that includes access to new and better treatments, really is available to those who need it. Accessible health care means affordable health care, and that includes pharmaceuticals. Now, let me just offer a comment with respect to price and cost and transparency. Information really is what we're talking about. We all know that the public needs information about pricing. I know that as a consumer advocate, when you think about patients and their needs, and I know MassBio is deeply concerned with patients. This is about information. Now, too often, what the public hears out there, particularly in a lot of the rhetoric, is talk about skyrocketing sticker prices. But we haven't, in my view, had a real conversation about what that really means and what goes into it. What are the actual costs of those treatments when you include the negotiated rebates? How are those prices set? How much did it cost to bring the drug to market? How much will the drug save in avoided healthcare costs? What's the cost for treatment compared with years of hospitalizations, ER visits, hospital visits, not to mention the other intangibles for patients and families? What will it take for us to continue to incentivize innovation and development? What are the changes, if any, that we need to make to current payment modalities? Look, I know this business is fragile, that it costs billions to bring a drug to market, that only a few of the drugs or technologies that folks are working on across this city, across this state today, are going to see the light of day in the marketplace. And I know that value maybe isn't talked about as much, or at least in the way that you might think and believe it should be talked about. But let me just say, at bottom, this is about information. We need to have an honest conversation and share the information and answer some of the questions that I posed a minute ago. Because without this type of information, I think it's hard for consumers, it's hard for policymakers, it's hard for insurance companies and others to know whether the costs are too high, too low, or just right. We need to work together to get that information out so we can truly, collectively make some informed decisions. And I look forward, as I say, to beginning that conversation and to continuing that dialogue with you and others.